Hi, this is Tom from World Class Coaching with another of our animated drills. This is a great warm-up activity that I was introduced to by Scott Moody from Athlete Fit. So if you're interested in more soccer-related conditioning and fast footwork and those kind of activities, this is a really good one. So this is how this is set up. We've got 4 players. The cones are optional, and you'll see why in a minute. And the idea is one player is working while the other players react to him and pass with him. So it begins by one player checking to the middle, all right, to receive a pass. Now this player then receives the ball, and I'll just show you it with lines first because, frankly, I think it's easier than moving the players around here this time because they change orientation. So I'll try it this way first, and we'll see how it goes. So we've got a pass there and then a pass back. So there's 2 quick passes here. Now we're going to do this to the right, so I'm going to ask the players to use their right foot whenever possible and pass to the other player's right foot whenever possible. I think this is important because then it gives the players a target for their pass rather than just hitting it in the direction of their teammate. They're really aiming for a specific target. So after playing the ball back to the same player that passed to them, they make a run out to the right. Now the player that receives the ball back then makes a pass to their right. So everything is done to the right. And when that happens, and this player checks out here, now this player is obviously extra. So we want this player then to make a run into the empty space left by the working player. So let's just review that. So player checks into the middle, timing their run. So when this player is ready to make the pass, times their run into the middle, they get approximately to the middle, and the ball is played in and then played back 1 touch, preferably. When the players are first learning the pattern, you can have them do it 2 touches. Then that player, after passing the ball back, moves to the right, always watching the ball. That's a key factor here. You want to make sure your players are always watching the ball and not focusing on the destination, but focusing on the ball and how it's moving. Because then as they check out into this space, the ball is being passed to the other side, and we want this player to stop their checking run out to the outside and start coming back in as they did before here. Start coming back in as this player is ready to make that pass. So it's not required that they go all the way to the cone. The important thing is that they're watching the ball as they're making this run, and then they check their run and come back to the ball when this player is ready to make that pass. Now, this pattern continues all around the activity. The idea is that we're checking in, playing back, moving out to the side, and then that player that you're basically taking the place of fills the empty cone. So everybody has to be aware. They're either working to get to the middle, passing to that player in the middle, or moving out of the way of that player, but then this player here is receiving the ball that was laid back. So all 4 players are actively involved in different phases of the activity. As that continues around the area, then different players will receive the ball. So as the player checks into this player, as the working player, I should say, comes off of their checking run and receives the ball from that player, this player is moved into here, now is going to receive that ball and be ready to make the pass. So it just rotates around the area. The ball goes from there to there to there to there until it returns to there, and now we've gotten back to the start. So what I'll generally do is when the players are first learning this, have them do 1 rotation. So they get all the way back to the start 1 time, and now we change the roles. We put somebody else in that working position, and the other players move around them. So we do this 4 times so that each player gets an opportunity to do the pattern with their right foot. We'll do the same thing to the left side. So now players have used both feet. In the initial phases of doing this, that's as far as I'll go. As the players progress, now I'll give them a choice. When this player checks to the middle and makes the pass, they can check and make their run in either direction. So that's the worker's choice, if you will. That's the player who's working. They have the choice to either run right or instead they could run left. Now, if they run left, then we want this player passing it to the left so that we keep that same pattern going. If they choose to run back to the right, as we showed before, ball goes to the right. So now that player is the focus, and everyone else needs to react to their movements. So if the ball got passed to that side, then we'd have this player filling that empty space because the working player is going to be making their run to that side. So now we've got a choice between, right or left. Everybody's reacting. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to give the receiving player the choice. So when the ball is passed back after the checking run is made, now this player has the choice to either pass it to the left or pass it to the right. Now the working player has to react to the decision made by the player with the ball. So it's just a different way of putting choice into it and then forcing the players to react to choices that they don't know. They know it's going to be one or the other, so it's not an infinite number of variables, but they need to react to whether it's passed to one side or passed to the other. Just as it would be in the game, they don't have a pattern of movement. They have to react and basically pattern their movements based on what others choose during the activity. I think it's a great progressive way to train passing. It's a great way to work on passing because you're really focusing on that first touch. You're focusing on a good pass back. Those one-touch passes are not easy. Ideally, this activity should all be completed one touch by every player if the passes are quality, if the passes are in front of the player to the proper foot, at a good weight so that they can deal with it in one touch, then that's the highest level of this activity. When the players are first learning it, you're getting the pattern down, it makes sense to go two touch. I think you'll see the players quickly advance to kind of one touch when they can, and then eventually everybody's able to one touch. Obviously, you'll make some mistakes every once in a while, but I think it's a great way to put the players under pressure to really focus on the quality of that touch and make sure they're locking the ankle and the ball's bouncing off the foot. And so it's a good technical activity. It's a great warm-up because it's very active with the players checking in, checking out. Everybody's moving. There's nothing static about this at all. And I use this as part of my pregame warm-up, and it's worked really well. So give that a try with your teams and let us know how it goes in the comments below.